Hello there! This video explains how to access the hidden menu on a Nissan Primera P12. You might instead know it as the secret menu or, by its proper name, the diagnostic menu. Whatever you call it, it provides all kinds of useful information. So, let's go outside to my car now, preferably before it starts to rain again, and have a look. Oh dear, too late. Welcome to Cast by TV. Right, here's how to access the hidden menu on a Nissan Primera P12. First, start the engine and make sure the stereo is turned off. If it isn't, press this off button here. Next, press and hold down the info button and simultaneously twist the volume button at least 30 clicks in either direction. We can now see the initial diagnosis screen, and it has two options: self-diagnosis and confirmation/adjustment. Navigate from this point on via this joystick that moves up, down, left and right, the enter button in the centre of the joystick, and the back button below the joystick. Let's start by selecting self-diagnosis from the menu. We now have to wait a few seconds for the analysis. Shouldn't take too long. And here's the result, which incorporates a list of components. There's the GPS antenna, for example. That's for the sat-nav. There's also CD changer, display, audio unit, and so on. Note too that each component is accompanied by a small coloured square. Here's a close-up of CD changer, and we can see that the square is green. The colour of a square is significant. Green, for example, means there's no malfunction. Red means there is a malfunction. And a yellow square means the car cannot analyse this component. As you can see, this car has green squares throughout, so there are no indicated faults. Happy days. OK, let's press the back button to move on. We can now, once again, see the initial diagnosis screen, but let's this time choose the second option, confirmation/adjustment. This menu provides more information and enables you to make adjustments. And here it is. However, some of the menu items are hidden by default. To reveal them, as before, press and hold down info, then twist the volume button at least 30 clicks in either direction. And there you go, the hidden menu items have now appeared at the bottom of the screen. Now, as you can see, there's a wide range of menu options, and if I explain them all in detail, this video would be a week long. So, let's just summarise what can be done. Let's take an overview. Display, for example, lets you check the screen's working properly. Let's look at the colour spectrum bar first. From left to right, the colours should be white, yellow, cyan, green, magenta, red, blue and black, which they are. In addition, the gradation bar should be black on its left, then gradually lighten to white on its right. Climate control is a more complicated menu item. Among other things, you can test the related sensors, actuators and LEDs. In part, the diagnosis information comes via these numbers on the right. OK, let's move on. Vehicle signals enables input signals to the display to be checked. For example, it now says that reverse gear is off, and that's correct, it's not engaged. However, when I select reverse, the message changes to on. We therefore know that the display recognises reverse gear has been engaged. That's important as, in a typical scenario, the display has to know when to turn on the rear view camera. The Nissan Primera P12 also reminds you when it's time for a service. This service button lets you choose when to get that reminder. So, for example, let's set it for 9,000 miles. History of errors is exactly what it sounds like. Mine, for example, says it had trouble reading from the DVD that stores the map for the sat-nav. Now, that's rather odd because the sat-nav has always worked perfectly. Oh well. Let's now move on to seatbelt. The Nissan Primera P12 chimes if you forget to wear a belt. I therefore assumed, perhaps wrongly, that the warning can be turned on or off via this menu. However, on my particular vehicle it appears to make no difference. If your car works differently, by all means let me know in the comments section. Navigation is for the vehicle's sat-nav. Now, there are lots of options here, so let's pick speed calibration at random. As the screen explains, it enables you to make sure the icon that represents your car on the map is in the correct place. Okay, let's now click meter. This is the initial message on the screen and it essentially says look at the smaller screen by the speedometer. Why bother? Because you can now see various codes and we're scrolling through some of them now. They include a software code, a hardware code, etc. Furthermore, some codes, such as 10000, confirm there are no faults. Meter mode also enables you to check that the speedometer, a rev counter, fuel gauge and temperature gauge move properly. Look at those needles go. You can also switch on every single dashboard light to confirm they're working too. Initialise SRAM is next on my car and, to be honest, I'm not sure what it does. However, I heard a rumour that someone pressed it on his car and it started burning more fuel. I don't know if that's true, but I'm not going to press my button to find out. And finally, software version is exactly what it says on the tin. It simply confirms what software the car is running. And that's it. That's how to access the hidden menu on a Nissan Primera P12 and a brief overview of what it does. However, don't rush off yet because there's an important final point to consider. The Nissan Primera P12 comes in many forms, so there are different dashboards, software versions, user interfaces and equipment specifications. So, what you see in your particular car's menu may or may not differ to what you've seen in mine. However, even if there are differences, the broad principles of what we've discussed still apply. Furthermore, don't forget to check out the Nissan Primera Owners Club, which is a fantastic resource. You can find it at www.npoc.co.uk. You might also like to subscribe to my channel. Why bother? Because there's plenty more interesting content to come and subscribing makes it easier to find my other videos. Right, that's all for now. Well, at least it stopped raining. Spoke too soon.